What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here. In this video, I'm going to get a little crazy, and on this week's Hot 5 Top KDP Niches, we're going to explore the adult niche. And no, I'm not talking about that adult niche, you dirty bastards. I'm talking about the actual adult coloring book niche, and I'm going to go through that and find out what the hot niches within that niche are. And so we're going to get a heck of a lot of ideas, particularly if we are in the adult niche. So I'm super fired up about this video. I hope you're fired up too. Let's go and do this. Okay, so I am talking about the adult coloring book niche, and as usual, the very first thing you want to hit up on your computer as I jump into my desktop here is hot new releases and the books section, and then we're going to deep dive a little bit further. So I'm in that section right now. I'm under books, and I'm going to look for something a little different. So I believe I discovered where most of the adult coloring books should be. Again, you guys and gals can tell me in the comments below where you usually put your coloring books, but I discovered quite a few of them here in the section that is labeled Crafts, Hobbies, and Home. So I'm going to click into Crafts, Hobbies, and Home, and you're going to see that right here, there is a particular section that says Coloring Books for Grown-Ups. So yes, those are coloring books for adults. This is where you usually get whoever it is that likes to color that is an adult. This is where they should be going. They shouldn't be going in the kids with alcoholic tendencies and things of that nature, because those are a lot easier to rank for. So let's take a look and see what kind of stellar books are in the top 100. So right out of the gate, I see one that I liked, and I see one that connected a lot to the video that I made yesterday talking about the hidden niche that really rarely anyone is targeting. And that niche is the gardening niche. Now, this niche is very attractive, particularly to females that are a bit older, females that have green thumbs, and they're going to like to color that shit just as much as they like to garden it. So this whimsical garden right here is a good one. And it's also going to appeal to women who like flowers, which is, last I checked, almost every woman on the planet. I don't really know that many women that don't like getting flowers. Even the ones that say they don't like it, they just like the act of the flowers. So here we have Whimsical Garden Book. That is my #1 niche of this week almost. I've been talking about it all week long, and that is the gardening niche. So this time we're not making books for kids. This time we're making books for women. We also saw the 100 flowers that was selling real well last year. So the gardening book is #1 right now. I would take a look at the inside of this, see what it's about, and to get some more ideas to create some. Here we have my favorite category of all categories, the mandalas. Man, I just love coloring mandalas. It's just one of my favorite things. Now here's a second thing that could be really good. We've seen a lot of bird branding, like with Sammy the bird. Like Sammy takes a dump, like I said, and as soon as Sammy takes a dump, there's a book about it. Sammy goes out drinking with his friends, gets just totally shit-faced, and guess what? Tomorrow there's a book about it. So the bird category is really hot and almost goes hand in hand with the gardening category. Here they have sticker by number instead with birds. Obviously we can't create anything like that, but a bird coloring book for adults, especially if you're good at drawing technical things like birds or even making silly birds like Sammy, that will work out. So that's my second favorite one that I can already see. Here's a third one. And as you can see, usually when I jump into these brand new categories that I've never been in, it gets me excited. I start talking faster. I start talking more excitedly. A lot of people complain I don't talk too slow. I talk too fast. So I'm trying to tone that down a little bit. But stress relief for adults. We've seen stress relief for children, but now here's one for adults. And really, stress relief for adults could be a number of different things. So really, at the end of the day, it comes down to brainstorming what you think is stress relief for you. And the odds are that somebody else out there also feels that that same thing relieves them of their stress. So I would work on something like that. That's my third one. I've already got 3 ideas and we're just minutes into this video. Like I said, exciting stuff happening right now. Here's magical fairies and spring scenes. And again, going into the flower theme, it's just hot. Like it's very hot right now. We're in spring. I talked about it in the video yesterday. This is spring scenes. This is flower color. This all really falls into the gardening theme, but flowers themselves. So if you really want to, we could call out flowers on their own and have an entire category for flowers. But you guys get the gist of the thing. Spring is in the air. Love is in the air. Women love that shit. Make some flower books, make something with gardens and things of that nature. This is kind of an interesting one, so I'm going to keep my eye on that one. I would probably click into it if we weren't doing the Hot 100 and see what it's all about. Here we have the Revenge Black Background Adult Coloring Book. That's kind of interesting as well. Circle of Life, that kind of goes in line with spring and flowers and things like that. Female Warriors, so this one's pretty awesome. This one looks a lot like a Jade Summer coloring book, and that one kind of really appeals to, I don't know, I guess girls like to color badass girls. I would be really interested to see what the demographics of the people that are buying that, what they are. That would be really interesting to me. Here we have Flowerscape, a botanical coloring book. So you guys get the theme. That's why I gave flowers their own category, but flowers are fire right now. Here we've got gnomes. Again, gnomes, this is great. I would do one like this because, again, this appeals to those women that have the gardens. But gnomes, you can do gnomes in so many different scenery and so many different scenarios. Like, I believe there was a dude that literally he stole gnomes from somebody's lawn, and then he was traveling all over the US, and he would take photographs of the gnome in front of a really monumental tourist attraction, like in front of the Grand Canyon. The gnome was in front of the Hoover Dam. The gnome was in front of the Statue of Liberty. He was all over America. He traveled all over the place, and he was purposely sending a picture to the person that owned the gnome of all this stuff. But again, gnomes, it's a fantastic idea. It goes with the gardening theme, but I would do an entire category on gnomes on their own. So let's see what else we see that pops up here. Sugar skulls. Here's again another garden, and it's almost like I almost predicted it just by seeing the first book, and that's because of where we're at and what I've been seeing with the time machine. Here we have more flowers. Here we have 50 animal mandalas, and of course the cat is covered with flowers. Here we have kawaii kitties, which are really cute. We talked about kawaii being hot. It's always going to be hot because women love that cute stuff. Here we have 100 tattoos, which I think is awesome. It seems like a very interesting topic, so I would keep an eye on that one. You obviously would have to have a really technical artist to do something like that. Like, I could never pull it off, and I could never find an artist that would do that because those kind of guys are really artsy and they're not going to stick around for too long. Stained glass, we've talked about it before. Lovely dresses in grayscale, which kind of goes along the theme with fashion that we've talked about before. Now, this diamond hands, I believe somebody told me something about this. Like, this is really interesting to me. I'm going to just open it up and talk about it later if we have time. But here's again another gardens one, and again a tattoo. So there we have it, tattoos. We see one, you know, we might put it on there if we have a good feeling about it. If we see it too, a pattern is starting to form, and in fact they are selling well. So tattoo books, there you have it. Yes, if you're a skilled artist and you could do something like tattoos, then I would certainly put a book like that together. Here we have Easter for adults. So that's kind of interesting. Here we have another fashion history book. So really a lot of things happening here that are very fascinating. Here's another tattoo book. Here's Chibi Girls. We've talked about Chibi along the lines with kawaii as well. Wildlife, and this is Among Us, which we talked about as trademark infringing. Again, Easter still dominating the charts. Mermaids and Easter still. And let's look at the second set of 50. Already we've gotten quite a few ideas, but I'm going to keep it running. I'm going to keep it going. Things I want to say at work but can't. Dogs and puppies. Wow, that's a cute one. I even would like to click into that because those guys look so adorable. Owl Kingdom, 1950s adult activity book. I like this one a lot. Like, I'm going to stop and talk about this one. Here's the birds again, as we talk about, and we've talked about anime girls in the past. But let me tell you why I like this one, because it really personalizes a particular era that somebody potentially grew up in or was born during. So this, again, is a way that you're able to brand your books by making different decades of books. We talked about theming things, and I'm totally making that words up, theming things with national parks, with cities, with all sorts of things of that nature. But this one now takes the thought of time and creates a book based around different decades, which is ingenious. So I love this one. I would definitely put a check mark for this. If you can do something like this, it would be pretty cool. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, and we're going to open this one up, this is labeled as a Sudoku book. So let's have a look and see what it actually has. I believe it's puzzles. So that's fantastic. The fact that it's puzzles, this allows you to create your own activity book potentially for this, your own coloring book potentially for this. And these guys put a bunch of puzzles. So you could put together a bunch of puzzles as well. So again, a pretty awesome idea. And I would certainly try and do something of that nature. So birds again are dominating. Here we go. Good old unicorns. Like, we can never have a day without unicorns popping up. Now this was interesting. Stock market activity book. I don't know what that is, but it kind of reminded me of the Diamond Hands one that we popped up here earlier. So we're going to see if we can look at those here in a second. Here we have, again, the fashion thing. So fashion is hot again. I would pay close attention to this. We've talked about paper dolls in the past. But again, this is particular 50 outfits to style. So again, I would be interested to click in this. This is an interesting one, and we've talked about it in the past. Here we have like straight up almost porn. Anime MILF, coloring book uncensored. I'm surprised that Amazon allows things like that. I didn't realize that they were allowed. So that's very interesting to me. Here's an adult coloring book for bird lovers. So we've been talking a lot about birds, and birds are all over the place. A coloring book for chibis, creepy chibis. Wow, talk about creepy chibis. Those were creepy AF, right? Celebrating birds. Here we got more birds. Gods and goddesses, which is great. It was almost along the lines with the female warriors. And again, this looks like Jade Summer. So there's a lot of people that are artists that are putting things out there like Jade Summer. But this is a great one that we've seen already twice, and it's looking pretty good. Desert blooms, more flowers, Easter egg coloring books, butts on things. This one is fantastic. Like, this is just somebody who creatively used, I don't know, like, I need to see this. This is fantastic. This is a great little book, and we're going to see those right now. A book, Fashions of the 1980s. So here's another one of those decade pieces, decade things that we can do and create. And I'm calling them pieces like as if I'm talking about fashion, but we talked about the 1950s and they showed the cars and the jukebox. This is Fashions of the 1980s. So you could even do this with fashion. And these guys did that. So particularly if you like drawing fashion. So this is a great one. We got Anti-Anxiety Journal and more mandalas. And the St. Patrick's Day coloring book, and they slapped the leprechaun on the unicorn. Of course they did. That's fantastic. Social media coloring book, which is interesting. And again, these birds that are sideways, I even had to turn to the side to make sure that I wasn't imagining things. Now, we also last finish off here with the tiger, and God is something. I'm not sure what it says about God there, but let's take a look at these. Diamond Hands coloring book. I have no idea what that means. Maybe you guys, that looks like a little mini Donald Trump. And I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. That's a pretty interesting coloring book. But again, they always put like these words on money jumping around on the back. And then this is a stock market one. It almost looks like this is some kind of training or helping kids learn. But I mean, this is like adults. I'm not sure what it is. It's very interesting. And then butts on things. Like, I absolutely love this. This is a hardcover book. So I don't know why they put it in the coloring book section, but here's the fantastic thing about this. This is a pre-order. It doesn't come out until September 28th, 2021, and it already is 99,000. So I'm imagining this is going to be a hot one. So again, brainstorm and think about if they could put butts on things, what else could you do with things like that? But excellent idea. Fantastic little book. I can't wait to see it. I'm tempted to order it myself. So I will let you guys and girls know if I did order it. But let me know in the comments below how you liked this video and if anything inspired any creativity in you, especially butts on things. But other than that, questions, comments below. I always personally answer them. I'll see you in the next video.